Thank you for being with us. Mr. Mayrand, you haven't presented any new information today with regards to the Conservative Party's transactions in the last election. You've provided, however, some new legal positions for Elections Canada. A couple of them come immediately to mind. One is that on box 6 of your PowerPoint presentation here, you define a candidate expense as something that is incurred or property or service used directly to promote or oppose a candidate during an election period. That, of course, contradicts the the candidate manual that Elections Canada furnished to candidates across Canada in the last election, because in that manual, under election advertising, this is referring to candidate expenses, it says, and I quote, "Election advertising means the transmission to the public by any means during an election period of an advertising message that promotes or opposes a registered party or the election of a candidate, including one that takes a position on an issue with which a registered party or a candidate is associated." You removed a registered party and therefore applied a new interpretation of the law. That's the first change that you've offered today in legal position of your agency. The second one is these 5 factors. I note that in the legal proceedings that are underway, the Executive Director of Political Financing and Corporate Services, Ms. Janice Vezina, she did not enumerate these as the 5 factors making the expenditures national instead of local. She had something different to say, and I'll quote from the Ottawa Citizen on the 5th of July. Quote, "Ms. Vezina allowed that in certain circumstances a candidate could choose to promote his party leader in his ads and still be allowed to claim the ad as a campaign expense. The key point," she said, "was whether the, quote, end result of the ads was the promotion of a candidate." End result were her words, quoted by the Ottawa Citizen. What is the difference between promoting a candidate or promoting a party?
Well, I think, if I may, I think both can serve each other. I think the idea here, and as I mentioned that in my presentation, it's up to the candidate to determine what promotes their candidacy. If it's through their personal promotion, as they're called, if it's through the relying on the brand of the party, on the policy of the party, on the leader, that is the decision of the candidate. It's not the decision of Elections Canada.
Well, that's good to learn. I would like to give you an example of the accusation, because that, just before I move on, I should point out that is not what Ms. Vezina testified in recent legal proceedings with the Conservative case against Elections Canada. She said it was the end result of the advertisement, which I think is a very curious position, because I don't think that any government agency can ascertain and rule on the end result of an advertisement, especially considering the fact that you concede there's no distinguishing between the benefits to a party and its candidate.